never thought. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Hackensack Board of Education meeting. Please stand for the pledge and remain standing for a moment of silence, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing, please. Good to see you. Thank you. As we start our meeting tonight, let's pause to acknowledge that the Hackensack School District occupies the unceded ancestral lands of the Ramapo, Munsee, Lenape people. We are grateful to be able to learn, work, and gather today, and we continue our commitment to support all underserved and undervalued members of our school community. As a reminder, please make sure that we speak slowly, as our translators and interpreters will be doing that for our different communities that need it. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the record, posted at the board office, and filed with the city clerk. I hereby call to order the regular public meeting on September 25th, 2024 in the Hackensack High School Media Center at 6:17 p.m. Ms. Singh, will you please do a roll call for us?
Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Ms. Harris,
Present.
Mr. Martin,
Present.
Mr. Powell,
Present.
Ms. Pringle,
Present.
Ms. Somerville,
Present.
Mr. Stein,
Present.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Present.
Mr. James Vickery.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. So tonight we have several presentations, but first, we're going to start with a very special guest that I'll let Miss Trustee Somerville.
From here, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Introduce.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I would like to take the opportunity to introduce today Michael Jacobs. He is the president of the Bergen County School Board Association, and he's here to talk to us about an initiative that Hackensack was included in an assembly bill. So, Mr. Jacobs, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I'm good. Good evening, everybody. Dr. McBride, President Vicker, and members of the Hackensack Board of Education. I'd like to thank all of you, and I'm sorry, I'd be remiss, Principal Montesano. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the great job that he did. Thank you for inviting me here this evening to talk about our association, and I use the word "our" because every elected board member is a member. All right, I feel like I'm home again because if some of you don't know, last year you hosted us, and nobody does it better than Hackensack. So I want to thank you. But just as an aside, if you're looking for a good board member that's pandemic proven, I saw your menu inside. Wow. So I'm available. Thank you. All right, but before I begin, let me just give you a little background on our parent or association, the New Jersey School Boards Association. All right, NJSBA is a nonprofit state-created federation of boards of education founded in, yes, 1914. It provides mandated governance training to the Board of Education members representing 580 public school districts and the trustees representing the majority of the state's charter schools. Now, NJSBA serves as a one-stop shop for public school boards concerning policy, news and information, legal and labor relations, resources, and services specifically geared for elected and appointed local Board of Education officers so they can positively support the education of New Jersey's 1.4 million public school students through its 21 county subsidiaries. We're Bergen County School Board Association, there's Morris County, there's Passaic. Now, moving on to the county level, our mission is to enhance the skills and knowledge of the local Board of Education members throughout Bergen County. BCSBA is a forum for exchanging information and ideas and a catalyst to expedite and initiate action. Our quarterly association meetings are opportunities for board members to receive professional development and up-to-date information on current education initiatives, legislation and public school regulations, and the meeting enables board members to stay connected and work together to advance the achievement of all public school students in New Jersey. Now, let me share with all of you a quick overview of what we do on the county level. We offer mandatory training. All right, every board member knows that I gotta go, I gotta take the course, it's mandated. But in addition, and I don't know if everybody knows this, we offer a board academy of continuing education, where you can achieve higher levels of proficiency. As an example, a new board member, certified board member, master board member, and certified board leader, because our goal is to make all of you better board members. Now, our meetings have been recognized due to our great programming. An example, we did parental rights in public education, definitely a hot topic. But again, we are not afraid to take up the controversial ones. Other counties shy away. And we're always ahead of the curve. And as an example, next week, we're doing embracing the power of artificial intelligence in education, both in person and virtual. Now, I don't know if some of you didn't, but most of you have heard of our annual Unsung Heroes celebration, and this is an example of our events. Every high school in Bergen County is invited to send a senior, but it's not the high academic or that star athlete. It's those in the middle of the pack who have done something special and despite tragedy, possess that sense of determination and came out on top. These stories make your hearts pound. And of course, our stellar event, NJSBA Workshop, which is coming up in October in Atlantic City, where we have 8,000 attendees, great keynote speakers, professional development, but perhaps for me, the most important part of the network is the networking. Board members from all over the state interact, and it really doesn't matter if you're from Bergen County or you're from Burlington County. We have one common goal, and that's doing the best we can for our students. Now, another aspect is our NJSBA Delegate Assembly. And this twice-a-year meeting of the full NJSBA membership sets the policies that determine the association's position on educational issues, establishes bylaws that govern its operations, and elects the NJSBA officers. Now, I understand that your board member, Marlene Somerville, is the first member to represent Hackensack as their delegate. And I think this is the forum where you can participate in the decisions, what could either positively or negatively impact your district. And my last point, and I think this is what you're waiting for, is local advocacy. Bergen County is light years away, light years ahead of other counties. No other county has ever done what I'm going to tell you now. Now, we know as a result of COVID, there was an increase in mental health challenges for our students. School-based mentoring was instituted as a first measure to help them. It was funded by grant money, and everybody here knows that grant money will disappear. So the question is, how do you sustain such an important program? I addressed this concern by creating an advocacy committee to, and I don't like to use the word lobby, but rather educate our Bergen County legislators on the need for sustainable funding. So we developed a template, resolution, that was circulated through all of Bergen County. In fact, I have Hackensack's right here. And we went probably about 40,000 students, I'm sorry. We visited all our legislators on both sides of the aisle. And in fact, Hackensack was in the forefront of this initiative. And again, Marlene, many thanks for your wise counsel. And Marlene, by the way, is a member of my executive committee. But here we go. On May 13th of this year, 2.5 years since we began, Senate Bill S 3236 and its counterpart in the Assembly, A 4488, were introduced for a $1 million pilot program for school-based mentoring for certain Bergen County districts. Hackensack is one of them in the body of the bill. Not a done deal, but we're in the door. All right, both bills will refer to the Assembly and the Senate Education's Committee. We did our part, so please cross your fingers. And I hope I've given you a snapshot how BCSBA supports our 76 school districts and 135,000 students in Bergen County. And let me just close with one thing. We worked for you. The more feedback, and I'm referring to the board, we get on what your needs are or your concerns, the better the job we can do for you. So we look forward to seeing you in Atlantic City in October. And please mark your calendars. December 5th, our winter meeting will be teacher shortage and the three R's. And again, we're back home again in Hackensack. And I have a slogan that I always close with, and let me share it with all of you. Bergen does it better. So again, thank you very much. I will give. You want to give this, the bills and the, what do you call it? So again, have a great school year and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jacobs. We appreciate you. All right, next up, we have our Unbounded Standards Institute July 2024 workshop highlights from our Hackensack Gleam team.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Andrea Oates Parchment. I am one of the assistant superintendents. And tonight, we are pleased to present to you Unbound Ed presentation. And this will cover an event that many of us, most of the Gleam team, attended a 4-day workshop in July. And now we are here to present to you our findings and just help you understand what we experience and how it is going to help our students. And now I will introduce to you Trustee Marlene Somerville, who was the board member representative who attended with us.
Thank you, Ms. Parchment. I appreciate it. So, good evening, everyone. So, before I start, I would like for Gleam team, please stand, round of applause. These guys did a phenomenal job. Definitely appreciate the care, concern, and the educational initiative that you guys provided to me as a board member attending. So thank you guys very much. I definitely appreciate it. So Unbound Ed, we're going to talk about elevating student achievement, a comprehensive approach to equity in education. So we attended standard education, all of us. And before we get started, we are going to go ahead and ask the IT team if they can just play the message from the president and CEO of Unbound Ed.
Experience discomfort in this conversation. It is an uncomfortable conversation to say that children entered into the building that I led, and I looked at them and their beautiful, wonderful faces, and I made assumptions about them and who they were and who they needed to be. What does it mean to learn? And who makes the decision on what learning is and how certain students get to arrive to that learning? They are human beings. They have brains and intellect. And no one should be making assumptions about their cognitive ability based on their fluency rate. We understand that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. It's time that we take our profession back. It's time that we define what teaching and learning is. It's time that we ensure that all students get immersed in the justice of the details. It's time that we commit to honoring ourselves as miners of knowledge. We must demand that our environment seek justice for all students. And we have to create layers of legacy that pick at and pull apart and dismantle the systems of bias and racism. Don't think that because this history started in 1600 that it doesn't have legs and those legs aren't walking into your buildings every day. It's our revolution, and I charge you to go back to your sites and get it started.
So as you can see, the focus is on Gleam. So Gleam will be throughout this presentation, but just to start, I'm going to give a quick update on what Gleam is. Gleam instruction is rooted in the idea that all students should receive instruction that is grade level, engaging, affirming, and meaningful. And the aim is to have all teachers use student academic, linguistic, local contextual, and cultural identities as the on-ramp to encompassing student intellectual capacity. So this is the layout of Gleam. It is in the presentation, and we'll also be posting this on the website, so you guys will have it. Now, there's multiple different pathways to Gleam. There's the ELA, there's math, science, leadership, there's the planning process, multilingual learners, and then there's core learning. So what does Gleam look? What does Gleam look and does not look like? So we will provide it here. It's providing grade level text. It's scaffolding complex tests by chunking and offering multiple opportunities to comprehend. It's offering opportunities for students to explain their thinking and engage in discourse. And it's giving students the opportunity to understand and explain math concepts. What it does not look like, it's reserving grade levels text and task for only some students, replacing opportunities to read complex texts with reading out loud or below grade level, offering only repetitive low-level tasks, and focusing on math instructions on repeating procedures without conceptual understanding. So I'm just going to say from a board member's perspective, what I learned from these very talented people and attending Gleam with them. So again, Unbound Ed is a professional development. And what as a board member I learned is that curriculum effectiveness is extremely important in making sure that our students stay on task, right? So we assign the district's educational standards and get our students ready for college or a separate career if that's what they want to do. But we have to make sure that they adhere to the readiness standards, that our students can make informed decisions, right? So data is important. It creates a shared understanding and language for everyone across the board. We advocate for equity. We are emphasis on cultural responsive teaching practices to address the needs of diverse learners. There's a board alignment. The board responsibility is to hold the superintendent responsible by making sure student achievement is aligned with educational goal and standards. And I think there was 3 board members at the conference, and this was something that was repeated over and over again. Board, in order for a school to be successful and the students to be successful, must align with the superintendent to make sure that what we have as our goal and our mission is what is executed. Anything else is unacceptable. Communication. The key to student success is productive communication. And that means communication between all stakeholders, not just between the teacher and the students, but the administrators, the lunch person, the board. Everybody has to be on the same page communicating on behalf of the students, because at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. Nothing else matters. Gleam. So what's the board place in rolling out, right? So our job as a board is to support professional development, right? Professional development and workshops. And I think we started that off at the beginning of the year with the convocation. So I think that was a great start to a good workshop to make sure that everybody's on the same page. It's train the trainer. So everyone here that attended Gleam got something out of it from a different perspective, and they're coming back. We're doing this presentation. They'll be walking through training the staff. We focus on the culture of learning. So everyone learns differently. And the task is to make sure that as an administrator, teacher, and staff, we focus on where they are, where the need is, and making sure that we can put that into action level. It's alignment of best practices. I don't think we have to explain that. We understand right from wrong. We have to make sure that we assign to the state standards. We foster a more inclusive climate for learning. And we use data. Data is important because it tells us where the starting point is, and it directs us on where we need to go to end. And then there's stakeholder engagement, right? There's open and transparent communication. Getting feedback and input is very important. We find out what's working, what's not working, and we know how to make changes and pivot. And the ability to review, revise, always. That's paramount to making sure that there is student success. And then that is from me. I am going to turn it over to the partner. You're welcome.
So today I'm here to really give you a glimpse of what we experienced during the 4-day workshop. And I will say that the theme was mindset throughout the 4 days. It's all about mindset. So I am going to read this first slide to you. Only when mindset and planning are purposefully put into the service of grade level, engaging, affirming, and meaningful GLEAM instruction do we see the teacher actions and student experiences that exemplify culturally responsive and sustaining instruction. And you know that that has been our goal for many years, even before the pandemic. We had the pleasure of listening to 3 keynote speakers. Lacey Robinson, she's the CEO of Unbound Ed. Nicole M. Joseph, Dr. Nicole M. Joseph. She is a renowned math person. You'll hear more about her. And Maurice Sweeney, who really focused on our well-being, care equity. So the first keynote speaker, some of the main points that she made, one of which or 2 of which I will read. Whatever happens in our community is brought into our schools. What was really surprising to me is that Harvard dropped this undergraduate teachers program, which means to us, we need to know why teachers stay, and they stay because of meaning and purpose, connection with colleagues, and compensation. Keynote speaker on day 2 was Nicole Joseph. She emphasized our math identity, and that was powerful because from now on, I will never say that I'm not good at math. She also gave some suggested material for us to read. Day 4, there was no keynote speaker on day 3. Day 4, this gentleman focused on us, we being multidimensional. We are not just professionals. There's our personal self, our civic self, and our professional self. And when we bring that all together into the school, we are able to strengthen collaborative relationships in our schools. He also talked about taking care of yourself, which I did today. I kept my doctor's appointment. Care equity, finding the right spaces to feel full and alive wherever we are. And then he talked about this meaning of care. What does it mean to care? What does it mean to care for our teachers? What does it mean to care for our administrators? What does it mean to care for each other? And we can't define that, but we need to ask people, how do I care for you? Now, this is when we really rolled up our sleeves. For 4 days after the keynote, we had about 10 minutes to go to the restroom to get a cup of coffee, and we worked from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. with 1 lunch and about a 10-minute.
5:30.
To
Debrief.
I only did 1 debrief. After I saw their faces, I said, no more debriefs for this team. I need to- So we attended 4 days, the sessions, we unpacked lesson plans, and everybody had a different pathway, but it was basically the same. So I'm just going to share with you the 6th through 8th pathway. The first thing that we spoke about is disrupting unproductive mindsets. Again, the mindset. And we also focused on educational equity. That means we serve all students in the way that each needs to be served. Equity detours. When I sat and I looked at this slide and I looked at the people in the room and I said, I wonder how many people are where we are. Our district equity team has laid the foundation to help us avoid these detours. 3 years they spent with speaking about culturally relevant pedagogy and the things that detour us. So we're a little bit ahead with this, but these are the detours we don't want to have. Then examples of questions, like we just don't attend a workshop and just walk away and say we attended a workshop. There's an action plan. And some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, where are we? Where are we as an evidence-based district, which is data? Where are we with our belief systems? And we are under Dr. McBride's leadership and all of our administrators and our teachers, we are engaging in these actions now. You can look at any of our principals, assistant principals, directors, agendas, supervisors' agendas. We are about action. And so Gleam defined, I'm not going to read this. We also have handouts in the front, but this is the crux of Gleam. We are going to teach with grade level material. We are going to engage our students and be persistent. We are going to affirm them, and it's got to be meaningful for them. So day 2, we talked about math for 2 days, and again, the math identity, and you'll hear more about that from our coach. But math and how it shapes your learning experience, math and how it shapes us as teachers and leaders, and math, how it influences our decisions. Day 2, this is very important. Now, you know that we are going to be, as leaders, looking for certain things. These are the things we're going to look for when we go into the classroom. And I shouldn't say are going to, we have been doing this. Is there evidence that the teacher planned to surface the social context and or identity of students? How is the teacher making space for perspective not included in the curriculum and affirming our students as humans and scholars within this lesson? How is the teacher drawing on students' interests and concerns within the grade level? What do students already know about this topic? And how is the teacher building a community of learners? So our teachers are working, and just know they have to plan the content and address all of this. So our teachers are trying to attempt to do this, and these are the things that we are looking for. Productive, another mindset. We went into English language arts on day 3. Our mindsets have to be productive. And I'll just highlight 2 of the bullets. We have to believe that literacy is a fundamental right for all students. And we need to deeply understand curriculum, content standards, language, and knowledge demands required to meet unit goals. This is what we want to disrupt. Literacy is not a fundamental right. Students cannot do the work of the standards. Students should only read text that matches their individual reading levels. And we spend a lot of time with this. Day 4, I'm not reading, I'm not going to quote pages. I just want you to see, we unpacked all of these pages based on these topics. We worked. But one thing that was alarming, nationwide, this is not Hackensack. This is nationwide. Only 26% of teachers regularly use an aligned curriculum. And only 39% of ELA assignments students receive align with grade level standards. What does this mean for us in terms of implementation? Gleam is directly aligned to our district focus. Standards-based instruction, culture, and building capacity. October 8th and 9th, all of our building administrators who did not experience the 4-day workshop will experience the 2-day workshop here in Hackensack Public Schools. Aligning to Gleam aligns to our Danielson framework and to the content-specific look-fors that we look for in the classroom. Starting with Gleam with the GL, grade level standards-based instruction is our focus. Including a teacher cohort will also be involved in a 2-day workshop, including representation from members of the district equity team. So we're putting everything together this year, and we're going to move forward. And now I introduce Daniel Sass, the co-principal of Hackensack Middle School.
Fancy clicker, so this is fun. See if this works. Beautiful. So my name is Daniel Sass. I am the principal of the 7-8 Academy at Hackensack Middle School. Before we talk about how this work relates to the middle school, there's 2 mindset shifts that we need to hone in on. And these are universal mindset shifts. They're not unique or germane to Hackensack. They're present in education across the country. The first is this mindset as a teacher of, I don't want my students to fail. My students need wins. My students need success. And so what ends up happening as a result is we water down instruction. We limit the depth and breadth of content and rigor. The second mindset shift that needs to happen is this idea as a teacher of like, yikes, we're behind in the curriculum. We need to catch up. And in order to do that, we're going to race over this and skip over this. And let's just jump right past this chapter so we can get through everything before the text. And we end up missing critical opportunities for what we call the productive struggle. This idea that our students can really wrestle with content and have tangible, meaningful learning opportunities within the curriculum. And so with those two mindset shifts as frames for this work, Gleam at the middle school is going to begin with a commitment to grade level instruction. Some implications for that implementation are as follows. We're going to think about overhauling what we call academic support. It was a class at the middle school that we now call Comet class, and is a space where students and teachers can use data to access grade level learning materials. And baked into that time will be SEL aligned community building. The mind cannot learn, or the mind struggles to learn if the heart is not well. And so we are going to be intentional about the way we think about SEL education within the context of Gleam. We are rethinking our approach to the way we educate and provide resources for our newest newcomer learners, our bilingual students, in a way that increases their access to English language curricular resources and also builds in native language support if they are in sheltered or gen ed classrooms. Part of that work means redefining expectations across all grades and subjects that prioritizes grade level learning for all students, not just the highest performing ones, the ones in enrichment classes, the ones in gifted and talented curriculums, but rather all students. And again, this very much hinges on a shift in the way we think about instruction. It's not a teacher-centered model that will move the needle, but a student-centered model, one that emphasizes discourse, one that emphasizes explaining our thinking to peers, asking questions of one another, answering those questions in a classroom setting. Imagine a world where a teacher steps back and we can't find the teacher when we walk into the room because the students are the one driving the learning. That is the productive struggle that we referred to earlier, where teachers can chunk and scaffold and offer students multiple at-bats throughout a lesson or a unit to really master difficult concepts. And while this looks like a lot, and it is, right? Our work is cut out for us. There are some very real steps that need to happen first, and I get to use my clicker again. This is fun. That need to happen in order to get this work done. And so there are 4 things that we are going to collectively prioritize across the middle school this year in order to begin pushing Gleam initiatives into our learning spaces. The first is that we as school leaders will be pushing into classes regularly. Comets classes, all the time. This is a critical opportunity for teachers to provide students with data-informed grade level learning experiences. But in the past, this has been reduced to a study hall, a place where we tell students, well, you can work on this for a little bit, or get some homework done, instead of really beginning to tackle the data and the learning objectives that can move the needle. Part of this work centers on providing teachers with regular feedback, specifically feedback around moving away from what we call the sage on the stage model, where the teacher is teaching in front of a room and students are passively sitting in desks, and pushing that teacher to become more of a guide on the side, letting students struggle and wrestle and even potentially fail once in a while encouraging them to look for additional solutions on the side, to engage in discourse with one another. And then additionally, we as building leaders are sources for learning and development for our staff. We need to begin folding that into the work throughout the year on what it means to really bring in and use complex, grade appropriate text and instruction while doing some of that chunking and scaffolding. If we are committed to doing these walkthroughs regularly, if we are on the same page with supervisors, if we are all giving the same normed, high quality, actionable feedback to our teachers, we will not only shift those mindsets, but begin to see some of those changes that are meant to be brought out with Gleam. And so I will now pass it over to my next colleague, Dr. Soto.
Oh, we're taken by the clicker. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Soto, the proud principal of Hiller School. First, I'd like to start by saying thank you for allowing us to take part in an amazing experience in Washington, DC. While I was asked to present salient points that I took away and speak about Gleam at Hiller School, I would be remiss if I didn't stand here to represent my colleagues at the 4 elementary schools. We have very similar challenges. They mirror one another, and we have, the similar successes. So I will share some thoughts that exist in the 4 schools. So Gleam highlighted something called the unfinished instruction, the unfinished instruction. And as Mr. Sass has talked about the 2 mindsets, if you listen carefully, you would see that there were gaps in learning. COVID-19 was a time that teachers across the board were asked to do something that no one has ever done before. I know personally in our school, we had teachers in closets. One teacher has a wife in Jackson Avenue, where she was in one room, he was in a closet, and they were doing the best they could. And so we went through this process together, and what happened was it yielded unfinished teaching and unfinished learning. And so Gleam defines unfinished teaching as grade level standards and concepts that were not directly taught or assessed prior to students entering the next grade. And conversely, unfinished learning is grade level standards and concepts that students did not demonstrate proficiency in prior to entering the next grade. So the definition as it has been shared through the conference was that unfinished instruction is any combination of teaching and learning occurring within an academic year that fails to provide students with the opportunity to demonstrate grade level proficiency through skills, tasks, and indoor problems. So what does that mean? Because as Mr. Sass has said, teachers work very hard. At the elementary level, I like to highlight that those elementary teachers, we set the pace. We set the foundation. We sometimes get caught up in teachable moments. What we have to do and what we are working across the board on doing on all schools, I'm comfortable saying, is that we are being led by standards-based instruction. So what does that mean? That means that we are working and we're teaching the tasks, the skills, the standards for that grade level. So that is the just-in-time part. Occasionally, students will ask a question, something will come up, and we cannot let a teachable moment go. But the idea is not to allow those moments to derail the teaching so that we create other gaps. Teaching is very difficult. What our teachers do is hard work. And so I'd like to commend all of the teachers, but particularly the elementary teachers, the elementary school teachers, because as I said, we set the pace for what the middle school and the high school starts to build on. So pre-K2, ECDC, we didn't forget you. So what does it mean, Gleam instruction? And Mrs. Parchment shared this in the beginning. It was a reoccurring theme, but Gleam instruction exists only when the mindset and planning are purposeful and put into the service of what we have heard over and over, and you will continue to hear at Gleam instruction. Do we see teacher actions and students' experiences exemplify what we believe to be the most important in this district? Culturally responsive and sustaining instruction. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce the Hackensack High School principal, Mr. James Montesano. You're welcome.
Good evening. First of all, thank you again to the Board of Education. Just to echo what Dr. Soto said, I've been a principal. This is my 14th year as principal. This was far and away the most meaningful and engaging and thought-provoking professional development session I have ever gone to. And it really caused me as a high school principal, even after 14 years, to really rethink some of our practices. And I think it's only going to make us grow and become better as a school. My 4 takeaways, or the high school's 4 takeaways, was it really kind of broke it down, excuse me, into 4 different pillars. I think the first pillar was really just a commitment to equity and rigor, culturally responsive teaching, professional learning and support, and instructional shifts in scaffolding. To me, the one thing that jumped out is it's really directly aligned to Hackensack High School's mission and vision statement. Our job is to develop critical thinkers and deeper learners and have them, view themselves when they're doing their readings and studyings as well. As far as culture responsive teaching, we have done a great deal of work in this, but obviously our community is changing and we need to do even more. Students, when they read novels and when they look at different pieces of work, they should not just look through windows, but they should also see mirrors as well. They should be able to see themselves in some of these readings. And again, it's constant reflection. It's constant really asking ourselves, are we representing our teaching and learning materials into our students? Professional learning and support. I think the one thing I took away from it is a lot of times, we think, oh, professional learning is teachers, teachers, teachers. For me, it is all about, the administration to start. We have to kind of correct some of ourselves. We have to really continue to grow as an administrative team before we can even push this down and push things, share things with, I guess, our support staff as well. And again, the last one, which I think is the most important, is really just a continued push towards culturally responsive and also student-centered instruction. So I guess the question is how? So for year one, what we did was we're going to just look really inward and examine our own leadership practices through the lens of equity. It's really caused us as a team to reflect. We have made some data-informed decisions already as an administrative team. And again, we're going to continue to refine those practices and, change some of our look-fors when we walk into classrooms as well. The second one really is kind of the heart of why we do this, is just creating an educational environment where all students have the access to the same opportunities. Students should not be able to just read and learn about, what other students are doing in other towns. We should be able to offer the best of the best for them as well. And I think we're going to continue to push for that through grants, through Title I funding and other, support systems where we can kind of level the playing field for our students. And again, I think the biggest thing is, again, continued professional development for all. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Perkins.
Good evening. I am Robin Perkins, a K-2 math coach, and I attended the K-5 math pathway at the convention. So first, I want to start by having you think about reflecting on your math identity. The mathematics perspective that teachers embrace has an impact on their view of their role and their effectiveness as educators, teacher identity, and subsequently governs the content that they teach and the instructional practices they employ. So if you think back to the schooling that you had and some of the things that you heard, and you think about what it means to be a good math student, you might have heard things like being fast, memorizing facts, memorizing formulas, being a male, and focusing on the correct answer. But those are unproductive beliefs. What are productive beliefs, as has been mentioned before, is productive struggle and making mistakes. So Dr. Nicole Joseph, our keynote speaker on day 2, who's the author of Making Black Girls Count in Math Education, a Black feminist vision for transformative teaching, asked us to consider what experiences contribute to your recognition as a strong math student during your K-12 education, and what experiences marginalize your identity. And I will extend that to ask, what are we then passing along to our children or our students in our classroom? So the next few slides, I will focus on how we can bring GLEAM instruction into Hackensack Public Schools, into the elementary schools, much of which we're already doing. So you've heard the acronym GLEAM many times. GL stands for grade level. So this is just a screenshot of a Reveal Math lesson. Reveal Math is the curriculum that we use in the elementary schools. So you can see on the bottom, every single lesson in Reveal is aligned to grade level standards. Next is engaging. Again, this is a screenshot from Reveal Math. So here, it shows 2 choices that teachers have to how they're going to instruct their lesson. One is guided exploration, and that's just a teacher-facilitated exploration with a question and answer format. You can see there it says the teacher presentation develops the understanding of explaining what digits in a 3-digit number represent. We also have the option of using an activity-based exploration. And with activity-based explorations, that's more hands-on. So students are really discovering more with what they're doing. Rather than watching the teacher present and answering questions, they're able to create numbers in this lesson with base 10 blocks, model them, and discover what 3-digit numbers look like. So this is certainly the more engaging option of the two. Next, we have affirming. So here on the right, you see some squares. Every lesson in Reveal Math, this is a first grade Reveal Math lesson. Every lesson starts out with a be curious moment. So be curious moments are sense-making routines. In this activity here, students were asked, what do you notice and what do you wonder? So I was in this class. It was a first grade class at Nellie K. Parker. And what I heard students say was things like, I see 1 green, 2 green, 3 green, and 4 green. So they might not have the language yet to say, I see 1 green in the first row, 2 green on the second row, but the affirming piece of GLEAM is that the students are able to use the language and their prior knowledge to describe what they see. I also heard students say things like, there's 2 and 2, 2 and 2, 2 and 2. So they're understanding that this lesson is about patterns before the teacher even tells them that the lesson is about patterns. You also see some pictures here. Again, this is from a first grade room at Parker, and students are using manipulatives to develop patterns on their own, rather than just looking at pictures of patterns and identifying them. Last, we come to the M, which is meaningful. So this is certainly the most difficult part of the GLEAM acronym. So we have different levels to the meaningful spectrum. The first is a surface level, where teachers might change names, locations, and pictures that students recognize. The second is the relevant level, and that changes the context based on what is known about students, connections to interests and/or experiences. But the real meaningful level, the real part that we hope to get to is the meaningful level, where teachers understand and critique dominant cultural norms and examine their community's social position to foster a sense of advocacy and change. So while we were at the conference, we looked at various lessons. I can tell you right now, there's not one single lesson that we looked at that was able to reach that meaningful level, which means it's up to us as educators to incorporate that in. So Reveal might not have it, but there are plenty of books that do offer these types of lessons. So I actually have the early elementary book right here. So the books on the top level are all from the same series, Mathematics Lessons to Explore, Understand, and Respond to Social Injustice. And that's at the early elementary, upper elementary, middle school, and high school levels. The bottom 2 books are more books that just are able to incorporate that meaningful instruction. And then here's a few more books that I found on the website, socialjusticebooks.org. And that is a project for Teaching for Change, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide teachers and parents with tools to create schools where students learn to read, write, and change the world. So as you remember, I started out the presentation asking you to reflect on your math identity. So now I just want to end with telling you how to be a math person. Step 1, be a person. Step 2, do math. Thank you. And now I turn it over to Mr. Pemberton.
Good evening. I'm Darius Pemberton, the Director of Special Services, and I too would like to just thank you for the opportunity to go and attend this conference. And another thing that I definitely took away from the conference is not only was the information powerful, but it got all of us a chance to recognize that we all wrestle with the same items across the country. So we got a chance to build relationships with people all throughout the country, other directors, other principals, other leaders, where we got to engage in actually productive conversation and do a little thought sharing and procedural sharing also throughout the week. So that also was very powerful. I'm going to give you a crosswalk walk for the students with disabilities. So my little remix to it, like grade level equals goal level, and students with IEPs, that all of our goals are connected to grade level standards. But for some of our students with disabilities, they're actually above grade level. Some are at grade level, but their goal is always connected to a grade level standard. So our student engagement for our students with disabilities is increased because we have additional supports and case managers and paraprofessionals and related services and support staff that actually increases the engagement, which our general ed and special ed counterparts also learn with. And it's great to report that today we have more inclusive classrooms than ever before through our initiatives, and the GLEAN work is just going to intensify that. Also, affirming students' disability and focusing on their strengths. We started with that, but we're going to increase it. So just along the whole continuum of students with disabilities, we actually have students with disabilities who we skip grade levels, who are in gifted and talented classes, who are very high performing, all the way through the spectrum of students who need multiple different supports in smaller classes. So we just want to make sure we're affirming students all across the board and meaningful and parallel to their IEP and evaluations and plan. All instruction should be meaningful, right? So that's just another thing that we're going to focus on, no matter, you know, what class, whether it's self-contained, whether it's inclusion class. We want to make sure that all instruction is meaningful. So a couple of other takeaways I took was utilizing technology to provide access. So we use artificial intelligence for multiple things. We don't want to just limit it to like text to speech and things, but giving students access who may be nonverbal or don't read as well, access to that same grade level content, and connecting their present levels in their IEPs to grade level standards. So that's, again, just reiterating that we're going to focus on what students can do and where they are and accelerating that level, which is also connected to the standards-based instruction, whether they're in a self-contained class. All of the instruction is standard-based, included with some accommodations and sometimes modifications for our students. And I just want to reiterate, great instruction is great instruction. That idea of productive struggle, all our students deserve that. All our students deserve to be pushed and to continue to push to for maximum achievement. And knowing and affirming all of your students is a priority, and focusing on all of our students' strengths. That doesn't change just because they have a disability. We're going to continue to focus on their strengths and just to increase and connect everything to the standards using the GLEAM approach. And I will pass it off to Nicole Adams.
Thanks, Mr. Pemberton. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. I just want to start by saying, if you show me what you invest in, I'll show you what you value. And I am sure that the board trustees and Dr. McBride were very cognizant of the investment that they were making and sending us to this conference. It was not a cheap conference. So I do want to lift up that it was a necessary conference to do the work that we have all been collectively charged with doing. And the knowledge that we received at this conference and the push to put certain things in place was essential. So I would like to thank the board trustees and also thank Dr. McBride for having the vision to put that out there, that was something that we needed to do, engage in, and invest in. So thank you. So during our sessions, a theme that kept coming up was access, and that we need to make sure that our students have access to multiple entry points to grade level instruction and standards-based instruction. And part of that means that they have multiple entry points for students who are multi-language learners or students who may have an IEP that may look differently for them, but it's up to us collectively to figure out what their needs are and to make those adjustments in terms of our teaching moves and our leadership moves to provide support at every level. So we have to provide those opportunities so that students see what is possible beyond what is comfortable for them. I also would like to lift up our teachers, our paraeducators, our counselors, and our administrators, because as Dr. Soto said, our teachers work really hard and this work is difficult. So I just want to thank them for being vulnerable. I want to thank them for saying, hey, this is difficult. I'm having a struggle with this particular student. I don't know what's going on. Reaching out to a counselor saying, can you help me? Maybe we can talk to this parent together and create a plan of support. All of those things start with an educator saying, I'm having a difficulty. I don't think I'm being successful reaching this student, so I need some help. So part of this is reflection, self-reflection, reflection as an educator, as a learner, a lifelong learner, and also being reflective of your practice. How can I do better? How can I be better? And what support do I need in order to show up as the best version of myself for my students and my colleagues? So I just want to highlight that many, many people who were at the conference were impressed with the work that we continue to do on lifting up student voices and affirming them and finding many ways to create experiences for them, learning experiences, social emotional access in terms of support services, so that we help them to really articulate what it is that they need and how we can best support them and their families. So what does our support look like? What is our pledge of support to you? Our pledge of support to you is planning actionable steps that promote an asset-based approach to improving every educator's practice in order to optimize the impact on student achievement, because every stakeholder has a role in this work. Every stakeholder has a responsibility in this work, and we all are accountable to each other, to support each other, to give our students the best education, because that is what they deserve. So thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the opportunity to present tonight.
Thank you to the Gleam team. And I just want to say that this presentation was a collaborative effort. The team did a wonderful job, and also have to give a special shout out to Brenda Perry, who put this all together for us, our executive assistant. Thank you.
All right, so up next, we have our graduation pathways report.
Mr. President,
Yes.
is this time to, I have a couple of questions.
Oh, yes,
Gleam
please,
team.
yes. If you have questions, Ms. Parchment,
Ms. Parchment,
could you come back up and field a couple of questions if you have one? I mean, if you have,
number one, I'm extremely impressed with what our administrators brought back and gave us tonight. It seems like it was well worth the expenditure. I'm impressed. But my question is this, and it's been alluded to by everyone who presented. We now have this Gleam program. A lot of the planning goes in over the summer. How is this going to be incorporated into this year's programs throughout our district? Or will that be something that will take place towards the end of the year and into next year?
So it's happening right now. All that basically that you see, we are doing under the guise of Gleam. So we are planning, we are preparing, we meet, we're doing all of this right now.
And it's filtering down to the rest of the staff.
Yes,
So-
remember the slide that said we have a second cohort now?
Right.
That means all of the principals, the assistant principals, all of the administrators are going to be attending a 2-day so that they know, because it's one thing to go. And then it's one thing, you can't really turnkey. Dr. McBride doesn't like that word. So that's why it's important for us to invest more. And you approve that too, so that Gleam could come to us. So for the 2 days, administrators and then teachers for the same 2 days will be attending another cohort. So more and more, the message will expand. And
So
we do a lot of this work. We're doing this work now.
Thank you.
I'll jump in really quickly as well. So Gleam as a process and as a structure, like most things, comes to life in various stages. So right now, we'll be prioritizing the GL, which is the grade level, which is our prioritization of the standards-based instruction. So we make sure, number one, that our curriculums are already standards-based aligned, and we're providing professional learning throughout the year around ensuring that there's support for not just teachers, but also leaders and coaches around ensuring that when we walk into classrooms, we're providing those experiences to give all of our scholars access to standards-based instruction. So that's where we're going to go deep with that this year as the priority. Engaging takes some time because I know that the work has started with some of the work that's happening with the equity team, but thinking about how do we incorporate various other, the mirrors to a degree. What does that look like in actual instruction? So that takes you more involved with your planning. So you may have a lesson plan in front of you that's been provided from Reveal or HMH, and you start thinking about, oh, I recognize that this particular book is the only one being provided, but it doesn't necessarily represent all of my students. So maybe how can we substitute implementing another book that provides visions of students who may have disabilities or students who are of various cultural backgrounds, and that's how that has to be perfectly thought out in the planning. And affirming is again, is the area that I think we're doing a great job on, as Ms. Adams talked about, with the variety of different structures that we have already around culture and social emotional support, so our students have voice, and just providing them more opportunities within the classroom through those lessons to utilize those voices and affirm who they are and their viewpoints. The M is the last stage. We know that that's going to take some time. So we already kind of implemented it. They're not separate. They're already integrated, which is why it's a great fit for us as a district already.
Any other questions from anyone? All right, thank you. So now we will move to our graduation pathways report. Ms. Parchment will be doing that as well.
Okay, tonight, this is a very brief report, and what it demonstrates, our graduation pathways data. And it just lists the total number of students who graduated, the number of students who graduated under a substitute competency test, the number of students who graduated under portfolio appeals process, and the number of students receiving state endorsed high school diplomas as a result of meeting any alternate requirements for graduation as specified in their IEPs, and then the total number of students denied graduation from 12th grade. And that is a report. That is the report. Thank you. That's right.
All right, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And then up next, we have Mr. Adrian Sapiro, who is our technology coordinator, and he will be talking to us about our esports program.
Good evening, everyone. So trustees and members of the public, parents, administrators, teachers, I want to just give a kind of brief overview over the esports program. It's on the agenda for today for the high school to be approved, our first esports club. So just in case, not everyone is aware of what esports is, it's going to be very brief. I can't follow up that Gleam presentation. That was a spectacular show. So I'm going to try to keep it very short. So just, this is a statistic kind of that everybody probably, it's not surprising to anyone that a lot of our youth, ages 13 to 17, play video games. About 85%, 40% of them identify as gamers. So it's an area where there already are, and we want to see how we can capture that to bring them into the fold in other ways in education, right, in the school. It's not necessarily about gaming, but about grabbing their attention and utilizing that to then elevate them in other places. So what is esports? It's, electronic sports. That's what it stands for. It's organized competitive video gaming. It can either be individuals, playing against each other, or teams in multiplayer games. It's a global industry, over $1 billion right now, just in the US alone at this point. And you're talking 45 million viewers of online competitions on YouTube and various other Twitch channels and everything. So it's a huge industry. Clicker's not responding. Esports players can earn sponsorships from major companies, major organizations, prize money, and even college scholarships, which is really the key focus for us here because that's a rising trend. Esports and education. So how does it fit into education? So it's about integrating the competitive video gaming aspect of it and leveraging other possibilities, right, to develop skills and prepare them for future careers. So some considerations when we're looking at combining esports and education are engagement and motivation, right? It's taking that innate kind of desire to want a game and leveraging that engagement and taking it further. Skill development, right? Students can develop better hand-eye coordination, strategy, strategic thinking skills through gaming. CTE and STEM education, which I'm going to elaborate in a minute. Next slide. Career pathways, scholarships and collegiate opportunities, and inclusive and diverse participation. And that last bullet there, actually not the last bullet, but the second to last bullet is really critical because what you'll find is a lot of students that, consider themselves gamers may not be athletes, may not be students that engage in other activities in the school. So this is another way to kind of bring them into the school environment and bring them into a group setting with other students that might have similar interests. So health and wellness will be critical, right? We want to make sure that students understand the ramifications of overgaming, of spending too much time on gaming, right? Not sleeping enough. And we want to make sure that they have that digital citizenship, right? And that understanding of how gaming can both benefit them and also hurt them if they spend too much time on it. So STEM and CTE connections, broadcasting and film. So one key component with esports will be the streaming aspect. Students will learn about event production. They'll learn about video editing, cinematography. That's kind of a major component of it. Coding and IT. So a lot of times students that are really interested in gaming want to take it a step further and want to actually design games, create games. So it really kind of spurs an interest in technology and cybersecurity and other areas that we'll see. And some universities even have pathways for it now. Business and economics, right? For everything from managing teams to organizing events to financial literacy are key components of esports. And marketing and PR, right? Creating the flyers, advertising their team, getting, raising funds for their teams. All those pieces kind of come together to create real meaningful career skills and that they can take beyond just gaming. So just to give you some statistics about esports in New Jersey, especially in higher ed. So 22 institutions in New Jersey have active esports programs, including Princeton, Rutgers, Rowan, Stockton, Montclair, Keene. I'm not going to go through everyone there. Both major and minor degree programs are offered in esports. Here's just some quick examples. Esports live production at Camden County College, esports hospitality at Stockton University, esports content and event production at Rowan, esports business, and esports cybersecurity and IT. And then for K-12, 275 schools have active esports clubs or varsity teams right now. New Jersey has an actual official esports curriculum aligned to workforce pathways. We're actually working with the company that developed that curriculum. CTE and STEM focused, the curriculum is. Over 1,000 students are enrolled this year. Curricula and extracurricular activities are aligned with higher education programs and degrees. Our program here at the high school will start out as an after-school club. That space that you see in the photo there, that's the ultimate goal, to have a competition space. We're looking to create that right here in the media center in that corner over there. And it will also dub as an additional classroom lab space that the high school could use throughout the day. So it's just in a multi-purpose kind of space. We're going to be partnering with the Boys and Girls Club. They'll help facilitate the actual after-school club. So the advisor that we hire will be working with the Boys and Girls Club. There's going to be a focus on team building, healthy competition, inclusivity, and academics. Parental consent will be required to join the club and to play games. You know, parents will have a say on what games their children are allowed to play. Games will primarily focus on strategy, role playing, and sports simulation. Limited use of any fighting or FPS first person shooter games. Anything with gore or bloodshed will be excluded. But that is a major, you can't ignore them. Unfortunately, some of the games like Fortnite, Valorant, they're huge games in the gaming community, especially in competitive gaming. So you can't completely ignore them, but we want to make sure we control for them and do it in a moderated way. And that's it.
Now we're ready for our superintendent's reports.
Good evening, everyone. And I will follow Mr. Sapero's lead of trying to be brief. I just want to start off by thanking and congratulating all of our schools for an amazing opening to the year. Yes, congratulate all of the wonderful staff who welcome our scholars back from the summer and have created a level of excitement that we anticipate will breed success this year for all of our scholars. So great job to that for them. Thank you to our wonderful Gleam team for this wonderful presentation that outlined the learnings that will transfer into actual practice within our district that supports our 3 primary goals for this year around standard-based instruction, building a culture of excellence, as well as ensuring that we are building the capacity to move the work. So you all are the example of continuous learning. So not only are our students constantly being pushed and challenged to grow and develop, but our leaders, all of our staff members are being expected as well, myself included. So thank you for bringing that information back. Next, we'll be having our first Hispanic Heritage district-wide event where we're asking all of our schools and families in the community to come together to highlight and showcase all the amazing things that are already happening during the month of September 15th through I think October 15th. Each of our schools have amazing presentations at their individual schools, but now we'll be able to get to see as a district what's happening in all of our schools. So please come out on that night to enjoy our scholars showcasing their talents, as well as enjoying some food, some community members kind of being able to show some of their businesses as well. So we want to make it a full community event on October the 9th here in our brand new auditorium. So we're looking forward to that. I'd like to also highlight Nellie K. Parker Day was on September the 20th. They did an amazing celebration. I think Mr. Tony Jackson has a book coming out around the work, and he allowed us to use the video. So please, I think it's going to be shown again on this Monday. And I'd like to thank Ms. Whitaker also for inviting us or creating the Nellie K. Parker Day. So we are celebrating the first African-American teacher in Bergen and Passaic County whose shoulders we stand on, who was a teacher here in Hackensack for 42 years. So we're asking you all to also come out and be a part of that wonderful celebration that they have planned for us on that day. I'd like to also thank Coach Whiting. He and I, along with, I'd like to thank Ms. Singh as well, because she's a lady with the money. So we are piloting our very first elementary athletic program. They're going to be 2 seasons, one in the winter and one, I think, in the fall or spring. But we are super excited, and I know the scholars and their families will be excited as well. I think we're doing soccer and basketball. So to start off with, so we're happy that that is off the ground. And lastly, I'd like to do a quick presentation around a very important issue that I think is worthy of us talking about. One of our goals is around building a culture of excellence. And we know in order for that to happen, we have to make sure that our scholars are able to be in an environment that's safe, emotionally safe, that they have the support of individuals around them, but also physically safe. And so as we are making, again, I think Ms. Adams alluded to what you put your money behind is what you prioritize. And we want you and all of our families to know that we are also prioritizing the safety of our students, given the current climate that we are in throughout the country. So we want to, there's going to be a few changes and more support being added to our schools to ensure that we are able to do the things that we're looking to do. I told all the leaders, as we're talking about standards-based instruction, we're going to be asking them to be in classrooms. So they can't be in two places at one time. So they're going to need some additional support to be able to establish order. And so myself, Trustee Carroll, Board President Vickery, Lieutenant DePersia, our school security coordinator, Harry Ruiz, Principal Montesano, and two of our APs sat down and were thinking through ways to ensure that we are providing a safe environment, not just for our students, but also our community at large, because we do understand that we are also inviting other people to come into our community for different events, and we want to keep people safe. So we're going to be enhancing security staffing support, specifically at our high school and our middle school, because they are our biggest schools. And so you're going to hear more specifically about what that will look like in the coming weeks, but they will have some additional support there. We are investing in portable metal detectors, keyword portable metal detectors. We are not going to have metal detectors as a stationary in our buildings because we understand that that's not the culture we wish to create either. And thankfully, we haven't had to have that, but we do want to make sure that when we are having major events like games and back to school nights, I'm sorry, I forgot to highlight the back to school nights for all of our schools as well in my presentation. But we want to make sure that we have the ability to keep everybody safe when we have those major events. So we are investing in those. A topic that came up during our conversation is this idea of school uniforms. I know this was a topic I heard previously, but it was discussed at length during our meeting as a way to make sure we're able to recognize our students. There have been certain situations where people were only able to recognize intruders because they knew them, but not because of the fact that they were easily identifiable. And that is a huge safety concern for us. So we want to think about that as a potential option as well. This survey was being done in 2020, was done in 2020. At that time, 75% were of the community who voted were in favor of that, or 76%. And so one thing I'm truly excited about as well is that many of you all should have received some surveys. And I'm asking that you all please complete them, because I want to hear what you have to say. We sent them out to parents, we sent them out to students, we sent them out to community members, to teachers, to school leaders, to central office staff, to get your input. I know when I came, I was able to meet with a small subset of people, but I wasn't able to get to everyone. So we're utilizing our new thought exchange that the board so graciously invested in at our last meeting to get that data from you all through thought exchange. So please don't delete the text message or the email. Please fill that out. It's extremely critical for me and the staff to have this information because it informs us about what decisions we have to make or any modifications we have to make to make the changes to improve our school and our district. So just want to kind of give you some information around that. And now I'll actually transition to the actual report. Our enrollment report is as follows. We currently have 5,264 students. Our current attendance rate is 96.9%. In terms of residency report, we only have one case that was received, one for the year. And as it relates to our harassment, intimidation, and bullying report, our HIB, there is only one unfounded event that is on the docket at this point in time. And that completes the superintendent's report.
All right.
And again, that's from the month of August 22nd to September the 13th.
Now we will move on to our public comments. The board not only welcomes your comments, we want to hear them. All participants, please sign in. When it is your turn, please state the following: your name, the municipality that you're from, group affiliation, if you list more than one. Please clarify which one that you are speaking today. So if you are from, you're a teacher, a resident, a union member, a church member, and you list all those, please clarify which one you're speaking from today. Each person has a limit of 3 minutes. Please direct all comments to me as the presiding officer, and all responses that are appropriate to be responded to will be held until the end of public comments. All right, we're ready.
Good evening. I'm going to speak quickly because I have quite a few things to say, but Dr. McBride, I did want to acknowledge September 4th, and thank you for making it something that was different. I know you might be hearing different things, but I was excited by something different. I did want to, because she's near and dear to my heart, to let the public know that a forced retirement is not the same as a retirement that you see on the agenda. And I'm sure that Madeline Carino will not say anything, but there are several of us who are not happy with the way that she was treated. But I know that she will continue to carry herself with grace and excellence. The other thing, our schools are overcrowded. And I am not seeing, and it could be my fault, so please correct me, but I am not seeing these same trustees at city council meetings, neither am I seeing city council members at these meetings, but yet we say that we are here for the children, and yet our schools are overcrowded. I have 25 kids. My colleague has 24. My other colleague has 23 and cannot take another child because it is a safety risk. We have a bilingual class that is capped. We are capping classes, which means that if parents move into the district, they can't now go to Parker School. And then Parker School is not the only one that is overcrowded. So I'm trying to understand how, as board trustees that live in Hackensack, you are not at these city council meetings and planning meetings and board meetings and zoning meetings to speak up about an issue that is clearly impacting. It is crazy that we have classes that people have to walk like this because it's not safe. You have to see this for yourself. Dr. McBride, please do a walkthrough and don't even tell us you're coming. Just walk through and see it for yourself. The other thing, the new reading program, most of the lessons are not standards based. So I know we've been talking about that. Many of them don't align to grade level standards. And the last thing, and Ms. Cordero Alton, please, this is not a slight, okay? Please, because I know, but last month you highlighted people on the agenda who, and you were, it's sender receiver, it really is, that you were excited to see that so many teachers and staff were developing themselves professionally. But one of the things we need to remember is that Hackensack does not do tuition reimbursement. So if you kind of highlight what you see on an agenda because people's salaries change, you're really missing the people who, A, can't afford to take classes right now, or maybe are taking one at a time. And so you might have seen just a flood of people who kind of finished at one time, or people at the top of the salary guide who are continuing to educate themselves, but that will never show up because we don't move on the guide. Thank you so much. And that's not a dig at all. It was sender receiver. So I just want to let you know how it was received. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. That's the end of public comments. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education determines it necessary to meet in executive session on Wednesday, September 25th, 2024 to discuss legal, personnel, student-related matters, HIB reports and negotiations, and other confidential matters, and be it further resolved that these matters will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Thumb's not right here. Can I have a motion to move into executive session? We have a motion from Mr. Powell. Can I have a second? Thank you,
Second.
Ms. Somerville. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. It is 7:41, bless you, 7:41. And, did I say that?
No.
Yeah, so, and to the public, we have a very, very hefty agenda. So, we likely will be more than an hour. So, I don't really have, we will give you updates as we move past an hour. Back, we have had an extended time in executive session and we need, to be able to extend our meeting past 10 o'clock, which has been our bylaws. So if I could have a motion to extend, thank you, Mr. Powell.
I second.
Ms. Randall, thank you for that second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will move now back into executive session. Thank you.
That's another hour minimum.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It has been a very long night, so we will get started and move through these as quickly as possible. We are going to move past our minutes tonight as we are going to revise some of those, and we will do those next month. We will start with our resolutions. So we'll do personnel. Ms. Cordero Oughton.
Yes, good evening. Motion to take action on personnel matters listed A1 through FF.
And we need to strike O4.
Oh, yes, correct.
So that'll be A through A1, A through FF with everything except O4.
Correct.
So we have a motion from Ms. Cordero Oughton. Can I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. And can we do a roll call, please, Ms. Thing?
Yes to everything. Abstain for anything that's to do with Paris.
What do you say?
That has to do with Paris. Abstain to those. Right.
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Pringle,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, moving on to policy.
There is none for policy.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Curriculum.
Yes. I'd like to make like to motion for approval 1 through 20. Highlighting C7. Approve the formation of the e-sport club, a new curriculum club with a stipend position for one advisor / coach at the Hackensack High School. Saw the presentation on that one. Also highlight C12 to approve an agreement with Tag Movement Consultant LLC, Healing My Emotions, to provide an assembly for the students in grade 9 through 12 to support students with mental health, strategy and resources at the cost of $10,000. The cost will be paid from the school-based mental health service grants. Also, C14, to approve a collaboration between Hackensack University Medical Center and Hackensack Public Schools to conduct a preschool oral screening using the dental. C16, to accept the Hackensack Public School 2023-24 end of the school safety data report in compliance with the annual requirement outlined in 6A semicolon 16-5.1. And C17, to allow Fairmount School as a sustainable school bronze certified school to apply for a $10,000 grant offered by a Sustainable New Jersey and fund by the new NJEA, New Jersey Education Association, for the installation of an outdoor classroom. And also C18, to approve the screening of a homecoming ready documentary at the Hackensack High School for students and the community on October the 10th, 2024. The cost of the presentation is $205,000 to be paid by the Hackensack Education Association, $1,500 I'm sorry, that's 2,500 to be paid by the Hackensack Education Association, 1,500 and the Hackensack High School, 1,000 from their account number 11-401-11-600 050-00. But I think, Ms. Watchman, you want to touch a little bit on that for me?
Just very quickly.
Yeah.
The high school is sponsoring a movie night and it's entitled Homecoming Ready. And it's a documentary by F. William Samuel. He's actually going to be at the event with also people who have attended historically Black colleges and universities. And it's for students and their community. And it will be, again, October 10th at the high school auditorium at 6:30. And we're happy to provide that opportunity.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Martin's made a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion? For Mr. Powell made a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Singh, will you do a roll call?
Yes, Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Pringle.
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Carroll, you're up for finance.
Finance, I make a motion to move D1 through D6, adding on D7. Highlighting D5, which approves photography agreement with Marcel Studios for the 2024-2025 yearbook. At no cost to the district or the students taking for pictures. Purchasing pictures is optional. D6 approves a quote from Ally Universal to add a security guard to Hackensack Middle School in the amount of $48,960. And the add-on is D7, which is Hackensack Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the school's business administrator, approves the settlement of a lawsuit with an employee.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Carroll. Can I have a second? Mr. Stein, thank you. Is there any discussion on anything in finance? Hearing and seeing none. Ms. Singh, will you do a roll call, please?
Yeah, Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Pringle,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, you're back up, Mr. Carroll, for buildings and grounds.
Buildings and grounds, I make a motion to move E1 through E8. Highlighting E2, which approves change order 013 totally from Mark Construction for services to the Fairmount School elevator. And E5 approves the contract for Hiller's auditorium seats from Nickerson in the amount of $134,571.28. And E6 approves the contract for building auditorium system service to the district from automatic temperature control in the amount of $36,610.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Carroll. Can I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Powell. Any discussion on anything for buildings and grounds? All right, hearing none. Ms. Singh?
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Pringle,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we have nothing to report from community relations quite yet. Any new business that we have to offer? Hearing none, we will move to board comments. Oh. My bad. I need to go back to finance and correct the record on D7. I need to recuse myself of that.
Okay. Okay, recused from D7, gotcha. Motion still passes.
I was trying to roll right on out of here. No, board comments. Why don't we start with our young man on the end?
They get to talk. Just a couple of things, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like the administration to please convey to the Gleam team what a wonderful presentation they made tonight. It looks like we're really going in the right direction for our kids. If you are not aware, we have a rise, he's not rising anymore. He's hit the pinnacle. But Tony Jackson has been a teacher in our district for a while, a student in our district, graduated our district. He was again headlined in a commercial that was filmed the end of the summer. There was a wonderful article in the Record this weekend about Mr. Jackson, and he's just a star in our school system. And again, what I'd like to do is next week, a week from tonight, starts the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And I'd like to wish our Jewish patrons out there a Lishana Tova, which means a healthy and happy New Year. It also is a solemn holiday that's coming up, known as Yom Kippur, and it reflects a day of atonement. Some of us, myself, I need a little bit more than 24 hours to atone for my sins, but be that as it may, it is the most solemn day of the year in the Jewish calendar, and to all of our Jewish community people, I wish you all a happy, healthy, and sweet New Year.
Thank you so much. Mr. Martin.
I too want to thank the administrative staff for a wonderful presentation, a job well done. I'm glad you brought back the information, and everyone got something out of it, and it's going to be implemented in our district. So it was a good job that everyone did, and I hope that you're looking forward that you bring back more information to us. Also, I do concur with Tony Jackson, one of our teachers. His mother also was a teacher, and I recall Tony doing many speaking things during Black History Month. And here we are. This is what we have here in Hackensack in our district. And I think congratulations to him and the books that he have been written. And thank you for shining Hackensack and putting the H back in the comment. I'm done.
In the comment.
The C back in the comment. I said the C.
We're adding extra letters to comments. Yeah, maybe we say comment.
Hey, it's late. It's late.
All right.
One eye open, one eye closed.
All right, Ms. Harris.
I didn't. I just said it. I didn't spell. I just said it. I'm tired. Comment.
Good evening. So I just wanted to quickly say, school comment. That I'm excited that school is in full swing and full motion. So many activities happening. I attended back to school night. It was very exciting to be back in the buildings, meeting teachers. I would say I was very impressed. There were some teachers that had presentations in both Spanish and English for a lot of our Spanish speakers. It was also nice to see, I know unfortunately, there were some teachers that couldn't be there that night, but the classroom wasn't empty. Instead, the supervisors took on the place for those teachers and they held those presentations. And it was nice to see a different perspective. It was also nice to hear a different point of view versus not just what you do in the classroom, but how can you implement these classes for the future? It was nice to see, for example, I'll give science, how you can take these courses and it could follow you to college, to the road to college. You know, sometimes we're just so stuck in, okay, this is the middle school, what happens in high school, but no, how can Hackensack support your child to bring these courses and college credits over to another institute? So very impressed, very nice. I look forward to a great school year. It's also Feliz Mes de la Herencia, Herencia Hispana. Okay, so happy, sorry, I know. I will translate it again in English, I promise. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Just wanted to say something real quick in Spanish, and then promise I'll say it in English. Es un honor ser latina y formar parte de esta comunidad en Hackensack. Llevar con orgullo nuestras raíces y cultura enriquece nuestra unión y juntos podemos seguir creciendo y celebrando nuestra herencia. So, in short, I am very honored to be Latina here in this Hackensack community. It is such great honor to witness and to see so many different races, different cultures, especially in the Spanish culture, that come from different countries, coming together for a greater purpose and to continue pushing forward in our community, especially being a community full of majority Hispanic people. Being at back to school night and seeing them and having resources available for them was really nice to see, because I remember when my parents would go to back to school night, some of those resources weren't available for them. And I'm glad to see that they're there for our parents. Again, thank you to the presenters for the Gleam team. It was wonderful. I am myself a lifelong learner. I appreciate the presentation. I definitely look forward to how this transitions. I know that we're just in the first phase, which is the GL, the grade level section. But thank you, and I'm glad we got so much positive feedback that it was definitely worth the time that they went. I'm excited about the esports club. I am, people might not know this, but I am a video gamer myself. I have gone to game camps. I have gone to many of these sessions where children are not just playing video games and, you know, you think that they're just stuck in a box. It's more to it. It's about building relationships. It's about communicating. It's about how can they take this game and move forward with it. Maybe they could be a game creator. Maybe they could go into coding. So I am very excited that this is being piloted out at the high school. And other than that, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you. Ms. Pringle.
Great presentation from all the administration for the Gleam. Also, good night, Miss Story. She left us, so already we miss you this evening, but good night. And everything that Jennifer, Mark, Kenny, y'all didn't speak at everything that everybody else said. So everyone have a blessed night. Including the HN comment.
That was good. Mr. Carroll.
Oh, yeah. It's a long way. I'm gonna kind of keep this short, but it's September. Welcome back to school, everyone. I will say the Gleam team, outstanding. I mean, I'm glad that the conference was so productive and informative that you a lot of times you go to conferences and it's redundant. You're actually bringing back a lot of positive things for the district. I will say I was very impressed with that. I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. McBride for stepping up with security for the school. I will say I went to the last football home game and I was very impressed with all involved, Mr. Ruiz, Allied Security, Hackensack Police Department. And I got a lot of feedback from the community, from Hackensack as well as Northern Highlands, and everyone felt safe. And we're gonna just build on that, as Dr. McBride said earlier. Also to my Latinos and Hispanic communities, Hispanic Heritage Month. I just want to say, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but I ain't even gonna go there. All right. Also, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness. I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to those children and families who also go through this difficult time. And that I'll say that's about it for tonight. Thank you for coming and listening.
Thank you. Mr. Powell?
No, no COVID tonight. But COVID is still around. Sorry. Yeah, I'll just be quick, like Mr. Carroll said. I'll just do bullet points. Security, thank you for bringing that up. So I'll just do bullet points. Tony Jackson, thank you, Mrs. Stein. And Hispanic Heritage Month, thank you, Jen. I'll just make my rounds quickly. And the presentations were awesome. Unbound, graduation path, esports, all those presentations were wonderful. And like Mr. Stein said, we're going in the right direction. And I echo your sentiments on that. And welcome back to school. The school year is off to a great start. It was a smooth opening, which we're happy about. Kudos to the administrative staff. They were hardworking, they were a great superintendent. It's teamwork, it's a team effort. So great start for the kids is very essential and it's beneficial to them and the parents and everyone involved. So thank you and kudos to you guys for the hard work that you put in and the dedication that you do as students. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And not just to the administrative staff, but to the entire staff of Hackensack High School. It's teamwork. So everyone, no matter what department you work in, no matter what category you work in, it's all a team. And thank you, Ms. Story. And that's pretty much it. Have a wonderful school year. Everyone be safe. And again, thank the board for the great work that you all do, that we all do together to move the district forward. Thank you and have a good night and everyone get home safely. Thank you. Yes. Oh, that was a good one, but thanks, Mr. Stein.
All right, Ms. Somerville?
Hi, good night, everyone. So first and foremost, I wanted to say, Dr. McBride, thank you so much for inviting the board to the Welcome Back Convocation for the school. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal time. And I am so happy and excited that the staff and the district got off on a really good footing for the beginning of the year. It was something different. I don't think Hackensack has ever seen anything like that before. And it's always nice to start off with joy, right? To start off with joy, to start off in a really good light, to start off feeling motivated, and inspired. So again, thank you really, honestly and truly for putting that together. I think it did a lot and was very beneficial for everyone. And also another thank you, like Demetrius said, right, for the security protocol. I know that it's hard, right, to have to make a determination about, how much is too much and how little is too little. And I think you guys are walking a really good balance, like assessing every situation as it comes and putting things in place. So I know we're not at perfect, but we can't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? So I'm just happy that we're on a good trajectory to kind of move things forward. And as we see things that are happening, we can kind of, put things in place. So I think that's a good start. I want to say congratulations to my Gleam team. It was a lot of work and it was some long days. And they are being very nice when they say it started at 9. I think Jimmy was up at 6:30 because he had to go to the gym, wink, wink. And it didn't end until like 5, like 5:30. They did their debriefing. It was 4 days of really hard work. I sat in the 6-8 with Mr. Sass and Miss Oates Parchment. And I have to just give a really, really thank you to both of them. I'm coming in from a board perspective, right? I'm not an educator. And they actually sat down, after class was over, we sat there doing the hard work. They explained what the process was, how do you put the curriculum forward. There was other, superintendents and different people that were there, and everybody got together and they gave me what things were for, a board member to kind of understand. So honestly, it was a really, really well-rounded time and really good educational benefit. So thank you for the opportunity. I know Mr. Jacobs was here, and I just want to say to everyone, the Bergen County School Board Association, like he said, is here for you guys, right? They advocate on behalf of boards, on behalf of teachers, on behalf of administrator. There is a delegate assembly that is coming up. If you guys have something that you think needs to be championed on behalf of the school district, an initiative, a resolution, anything else along the line, please communicate it to Dr. McBride, because then Dr. McBride can get that into a form where we can get in front of the New Jersey School Board Association, and then they can take it to champion on your behalf. That's how you guys kind of get progress, get things that you want, make changes to, to law that may impact you or affect you. So again, do your due diligence, check out the organization. And if you guys think there is anything beneficial that may impact or help Hackensack, please feel free to forward it to Dr. McBride so we can get it in front of them, so they can get in front of people for them to take a look. Good things can happen. Just, like I always say, nothing beats a failure but a try. And then I just want to say to everybody, again, happy, Hispanic Heritage Month. Cancer awareness, Demetrius, thank you for calling that out. For Mr. Jackson, congratulations on the achievement, well earned. And thank you, everybody else. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Ms. Cordero Allen?
Yeah, similar to majority of the team here, I would really like to say thank you to all those who participated in Unbound Ed and Gleam. Trustee Somerville, I'm grateful that you were able to attend, and hearing you talk about it and the experience that you had with our teachers and administration that also went. I definitely feel it was well worth it. It was money well spent. Mr. Pemberton expressed an exact sentiment that I had actually hoped would be the takeaway, is that we are not the only district. These things are happening across our country. And I think there's something to be said when you can sit in a room with people that have the exact same goals that you do, and yet are also struggling with the exact same issues. So to Dr. McBride, anyone who may have assisted you in identifying that program and ensuring that our staff was able to go, this board for approving it. I definitely think it was well worth it, and the presentation this evening, along with everybody's input, it was very nice to see. Very nice to see. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And I am very hopeful that you have a clear vision of where you would like to see this district go. And that you are considering future growth, not just now. You are looking to advance us and ensure that our children have exactly what they need to succeed. So I appreciate that because it will undoubtedly assist with bumps in the road. There's always going to be bumps in the road. Another great thing tonight was the presentation that was made with regards to security measures. But again, it takes a village. We had a lot of things that we had to listen to this evening. And the one thing that I am going to ask our student body, because you live in that building, you are there much more than your teachers are in all reality. If you see something, say something. Go to someone that you trust. We as a district are taking the necessary measures to secure you in the space, but we need everybody to participate in that. If you see something, say something. It sounds crazy. We've been talking about these things. Anytime you see some sort of attack anywhere, it's your home. Make sure that you're protecting it just as we are definitely trying to ensure. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. So I will be brief because I know everybody's tired. So I will say that we do have two important seasons approaching us. And so to our Jewish siblings that will be celebrating these important holy days, we will be thinking of you. And then to as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and especially on October 9th, I hope that everyone will come out and celebrate and enjoy what all the festivities we'll be having. I will say some of the things, teamwork makes the gleam work. I'm trying to coin that. Hey, I'm trying. But some of the things that okay, you can't pack up yet. Some of the things that I did that were impactful to me that I heard tonight were about disrupting the unproductive mindset, the productive struggle. I thought that was pretty profound because I think of even as our board work, those are things that we can, try to figure out together on how we can incorporate that into our work. Whatever happens in the community is brought into the school. I think that is something that we know happens all the time. The mind cannot learn if the heart is not well. We know about SEL and how important that is. That's what that will segue into Mr. Jacobs coming tonight. Much appreciation to him and the Bergen County School Board Association in general. It is literally an organization that is just here to make us better. It has educational opportunities for boards and networking opportunities. And so I encourage all of us to see where we can plug into that and, at least come to an event and see where we can see what we think. So school security, please know that it is something that this board takes extremely seriously. It is one of the top priorities we have in this district and from this board. We will do all that it takes to secure our children, our staff, and our school community. Ms. Adams said tonight that you know what is important to you about where you spend your money. We will spend the money that it takes to secure our kids and our staff and our school community. So just know that we are diligently working to make sure that our students are safe. We have the right people. We have Mr. Ruiz, who is an expert in this field. We have people around him that are working. So just know that it's something that we will not stop. We will continually be working and monitoring to make sure that it is that our school community is safe as possible. Thank you for sticking with us. May I have a motion to, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Good night, all.
Yeah, what is it? We're slap happy right now?